and welcome to another episode of the APA Poolplayer Nation podcast. I'm Becky Johnston. This is Jason Bowman. How are we doing today?
I'm doing fine, Becky. How are you?
I'm doing great. Before we get started, make sure you go subscribe to us on YouTube as well as all of our other socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, all of the places.
Yeah, X is Twitter.
X is Twitter.
Twitter is X.
Whatever you prefer to call it.
Yes.
It's technically called X, but yes, we still like to call it Twitter.
Yeah.
Tweets.
I just want people to know it's a clean website. Like,
it is.
It seems like the strangest website to go with, X.com. It just seems like inappropriate, but it's not. It's just Twitter.
It is. Yeah. It is.
So, here we are.
Here we are. March. Lots going on.
Spring has arrived.
Technically coming.
Well, yeah, technically it has not arrived.
It is
but
not. In just a couple of days.
It's here. At least in St. Louis, it's here.
My daughter informed me this morning that it's like
the
a couple days. Yeah, just a couple days away. Yes. So, yes, which is good.
Absolutely good.
Which is great. We are knee-deep in all things Vegas right now, which I know we'll be more heavily focused on in next month's episode. Talking about in next month's episode.
For sure.
This month, I think we're kind of focusing on Women's History Month.
All about the ladies.
Yeah, all about the ladies.
Ladies have played a big part in APA, you know. I know a lot of people think of pool as like mainly a male sport. And, I mean, we do have, I think 75% of our members are male. But, that 25%, that's a pretty large percentage, I feel like. And when you look at how involved we have ladies, not just in the leagues, but in our league operator network, in our corporate staff. We're going to talk about two of my favorite ladies. I call them the first ladies of APA. That's Olindia Bell and Nancy Hubbard. They are part of our founders, and we'll talk a little about them. But a lot of ladies out there have had a huge impact on APA, and I know we're going to hear from some today, right?
Yeah, we are. We interviewed a couple of them that we'll be hearing from today. Like you said, I mean, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for some of the important ladies in the APA.
For sure. I mean, like, I don't know how many years, a few years back, we did that feature on Olindia Bell. So Olindia Bell is Terry Bell's wife.
One
Terry
of our
Bell
co-founders.
Is Hall of Famer, co-founder. And then Nancy Hubbard is the wife of Larry Hubbard. Larry unfortunately passed away 2013. Another founder. So they're all founders.
Yes.
They're all founders. But the story we did a few years back, because they've always kind of been behind the scenes, these ladies.
Yeah.
And unless you've been around in APA for a pretty long time,
right,
you probably don't know them because even though they do still come out to Vegas.
They do.
If you know who they are, if you know who you're looking for,
yeah,
they're around. They make the rounds. But for the most part, they keep a pretty low profile these days. They're only involved kind of on when they really need to be. I know Olindia probably more so on the finance side, but when you go back to APA's beginnings, these ladies made these huge contributions that allowed APA 1 to happen, but also to kind of continue on even when times were tough. And so if you go, I'm trying to remember what we called it, First Ladies of APA. So like if you were to Google First Ladies of APA, I don't know, can you find it on our website still?
You definitely can, and we've shared it a couple times this year.
Okay, it's on our Facebook page, but I think if you Googled First Ladies of APA, it should come up
on our website.
And it's kind of a cool article because I sat down and I talked to Terry, and I talked to Olindia, and I talked to Nancy, just to kind of learn about how they all kind of came together. And I'm not going to get into all that. You can read the article. Yeah. Because those stories are pretty interesting, actually. You should read the article. But in terms of the contributions they made, like, so APA in 1979, Terry and Larry, they get this meeting with Anheuser-Busch, right, to pitch this idea of pool leagues. And in fact, it was Mike Shannon, who was like the broadcaster for the Cardinals for years. He's a Cardinal Hall of Famer.
Right.
You know who that is?
I know do. Okay. No, I absolutely do.
I think he actually passed away about a year or two ago. So, but anyway, he's the guy that like introduces them. I don't remember exactly how all that worked, but Anheuser-Busch loves the concept. They love it so much that like they're like, hey, we want to start like immediately. Like go down to the hall to the marketing people, start talking to them, and Terry and Larry had been like nomads. I mean, they were pool players on the road for years, so they were kind of all over. And I know Terry said, once he met Olindia, it kind of settled him down, gave him a little more structure. But, neither of them lived in St. Louis at the time, which is where Anheuser-Busch was. So they have to move to St. Louis.
For this.
For APA, because think about it. This is 1979. There's not the virtual meetings and the internet and all the tools where you wouldn't necessarily have to now, potentially. And so, both Olindia and Nancy had children from previous relationships. And so they basically had to agree to make these moves to this city that neither of them had ever even been to, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty big ask. I mean, you've got kids. Imagine if Billy was like, "Hey, we're gonna move over to Wisconsin. Is that cool?" You'd be like, "I don't think."
Not sure about that.
Yeah.
But...
So but they agreed to go. So that's kind of their first I called it their first contribution to APA. But the other thing is in those early years, the company was supported by Anheuser-Busch, but Terry and Larry were still playing pool, and anything that they would win out playing on the road, they were putting into the company. And so Olindia and Nancy, both career ladies, they're working, and they're basically supporting the households, which, you may find some of that more now, but in the early 80s, late 70s,
that wasn't really a
lot of women didn't work.
No.
So for two women to be basically the breadwinners of the household system, that's huge.
Absolutely.
And so, without them doing that, I don't know that Terry and Larry ultimately could have continued to fund the company, do the things that really got it off its feet in those early years. But so eventually APA grows a little bit, and it grows so much that like Terry and Larry cannot continue to do all the work. So who do you go to first? Before you go start hiring a lot of staff, you're going to bring in your spouses.
Bring in your wives.
And so both the ladies had to agree to leave from what I understand, pretty good careers. Nancy worked at Carnation. That's like
really?
I think that's like a breakfast product. That's what I associate with.
Like hot chocolate. And
yeah,
stuff
but they were
that,
based in St. Louis, so I think she had worked there for a while, and she ends up leaving her job to come to APA. Eventually, Olindia, who was pretty high up in banking, I think, where she was from, she eventually comes in and starts running the finance department. So, just major contributions early. Again, sacrifices that they're making to kind of see their husband's dreams kind of unfold, and they really believe in this whole thing. And ultimately Nancy kind of ends up at least her most biggest contribution, I would say, was she really was in charge when I came in APA of our insurance.
Yeah.
Which for APA it's very important for them. People out there watching know insurance is not a pleasant thing to really have to deal with. It's kind of a stressful deal, but they always believe that their employees should have insurance, and Nancy was always in charge of making sure that we had really good insurance. And when you've been there a long time, we've both been there a long time. So you've hit your insurance up a time or two. Thank goodness we had it.
Yes, extremely
because
grateful.
I've seen some of the bills when you don't have insurance. But and then Olindia on her end, she was our CFO for up until like COVID, or even maybe after COVID.
I was gonna say maybe a little bit around that time.
And so it's my understanding that one of the biggest things looking back at COVID, which is 5-year anniversary. That's probably a whole nother thing we could talk about, but probably should leave that one alone.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's my understanding that Olindia always made sure that the company had 6 months of operating costs or whatever they needed in case Anheuser-Busch, who again was a big part of it at the beginning, in case sponsors pulled out or whatever, they needed
Emergency
to make sure
fund kind of
the
thing.
company could continue to run. And so, and then Terry told me, he said, it drove me crazy. I'm like, why are we leaving all this money? And so eventually that money became very important when COVID happened, because everything shut down.
It did.
Pool rooms shut down. Our leagues everywhere shut down for multiple months. It's kind of a crazy time. Obviously it was a crazy time. But from a work standpoint, we just didn't know if we were going to be able to have jobs after a while, because
they didn't lay off one person.
No, and you're talking 60-something people at the time, probably.
They did not lay off one person here, and
so that was
it was a scary time.
That one may not be as important to the people out there that are watching, but certainly important to us. And the thing about APA is if you don't have those people through that time, how do you reorganize the tournament? Think of everything that was happening. So anyway, just their preparations, their influence, their sacrifices, and that's why we did the article First Ladies APA. And so again, I think folks should go check that out. Google
Absolutely.
First Ladies of APA. Read about these ladies, huge contributors to the company, sweet as can be. They
They
do still
are
come out to
amazing.
Vegas, so if you know who you're looking for, if you're seeing these pictures here, you might just happen to run into one of them. You could just say hello and maybe say thanks for doing this, because
They would be happy.
they'd get a kick out of it too. They're both very social.
They're extremely, like you said, they're extremely sweet people. The both of them are
wonderful ladies,
people,
absolutely,
and extremely grateful for them as well.
for sure. Yeah, and I was happy to tell their story, because I feel like
Yeah.
most people know Terry and Larry. They know their story. They know they're in the Hall of Fame. But there's these two ladies that need to get some credit too, and what better time than March to tell their story?
Yeah, really great time. I
yeah.
think we'll be sending that out in our next e-newsletter. That should be going out in the
Nice.
next day or two, or by
Yeah.
time this goes out as well. So
Yeah, great ladies.
yeah,
though.
definitely click on that and take a look at that as well.
Yeah.
But another person that kind of, not one of the first ladies, but who's been here for a really long time as well, is our senior vice president, Pam Aston.
Yeah,
too.
she's close.
She's close.
She's not far off. I think
behind them. 37 years.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
she's not too far behind. But yeah, Pam's been around a long time, and I'm sure a lot more folks will recognize Pam.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know her name, probably her face, because she is a fixture at our events,
Mm-hmm.
and really nice lady. But yeah, we somehow, some way, we finagled her to come on this podcast. I think it's maybe her only public appearance.
And as she told me, probably the only time maybe that we get her on camera to do this kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
it was cool.
we had a chance to catch up with Pam for this occasion for Women's History Month.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. All right, we are joined today by Pam Aston, Senior Vice President here at the APA.
Senior VP.
Senior Vice President, Pam, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you all doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good. And I don't want to undersell this, because Pam's been with APA for 37 years, right? This is probably the first time we've ever gotten her to do a public interview.
It is a big deal.
Yeah. This is like one of our most coveted interviews that we've landed here, folks. So I want you guys to understand how rare and special this is, right?
It really is. We had to pull some strings to get her here with us today.
We did twist that arm a little bit, but we couldn't think of someone better to speak on some of the contributions women have made to not only APA, but the sport of pool in general, really, during Women's History Month. So
Absolutely.
Well, I thank you all very much for dragging me into this. Thanks.
We appreciate you for being here today.
we're going to have some fun.
We are. So why don't we start out, Pam, by you telling us sort of your history here at APA.
All right. As Jason mentioned, I've been at the APA for 37 years, started back in 1988 when I was in my 20s. I was the 13th employee hired at APA, and kind of came up through starting out in our central office area and as an executive assistant to the founders of the company. Went into the field, what was then called the field department, and then spent over 20 years as vice president before moving up to senior vice president 6 years ago.
Yeah, 37 years. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, I've been around 25 myself, but the amount of changes that you've seen over the years has just got to be remarkable. I mean, the transition to Vegas, for example, and some of the differences in how we've done handicapping and things. Just 37 years is a long time, a lot of change, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just really proud to have been a part of that growth and expansion of the company over the years.
Yeah, big part of that. And so, I mean, over that time, and I'm sure you got a ton of fond memories, but like, what is your favorite part about your job, your role at APA?
That's actually pretty simple. It's the culture. It's the culture from our staff to our league operators and to our members. They absolutely develop a sense of community everywhere that we have leagues, and that community comes right on up through the league operators and through our staff, and it is literally like all one big family.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, could you have ever imagined when you started 37 years ago? And I mean, we talked a little bit about how you started, right? You were playing pool and you met some people and that kind of thing, but could you have ever imagined that you would end up serving such a prominent role with such a big organization?
No. No, not at all. I was in my 20s and I just came to work there and just wanted to do a good job. I would have had no idea how I would have grown in the roles I would have taken on with the company, as well as no idea that the company would look like it does today. I mean, we were just a small team of people at that time. As I mentioned, a 13th employee hired. We were just a small team of people working on everything together. So
even smaller group now that's probably still at APA that has more than 37 years. There's probably only a couple, and then take the founders out of the mix. There maybe only one.
There's one.
Yeah,
yes.
Elaine
That's
Rose
great.
is probably the sole.
One of the daughters of one of the founders.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, she's the only one.
Years.
She's been there about 6 months longer than I have. So.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable. So we spent some time talking a little bit about Olindia Bell and Nancy Hubbard and their contributions to the organization, Pam, and kind of the things that they had to do early on to help make APA not just successful, but basically survive early on in terms of their families and things. But from a more personal perspective, what can you tell us about Olindia and Nancy and just kind of your view of them from having worked with them for so long?
They are just amazing women. They have been amazing women throughout everything for me with APA. They have absolutely contributed to my growth and my success there. They, like you said, they started out just working. I mean, they did anything and everything in the business once they actually came to work at the company. And prior to that, they were out there in other jobs putting food on the table so that Terry and Larry could not only work on building the APA, but also go out there and play some pool to make some money that way as well. So they came into the company and doing anything and everything that needed to be done. When I came on board, Olindia was our CFO and took care of our finances all those years. And her financial acumen is what really brought the company up through the challenges, the early challenges, as well as bringing us through the pandemic a few years ago. So that is an amazing feat on her part. Nancy did everything. She did part of your all's job back then. She did merch sales.
Oh, wow.
She did, she sold apparel and cue sticks and even did the shipping on all of that kind of stuff. And then in her role as one of our officers, secretary of the company, she worked on all of our insurance and medical benefits and things like that. So they have just always been willing to jump right in there, including working at all of our events. They've worked side by side with us all of these years at all of our events, just like they're one of the staff.
Yeah, and they're still always out there. You'll see them around. And what I love about it, Pam, is that culturally with APA, I mean, everybody kind of pitches in and does what's necessary to, whether that's our events, whether that's organizationally, but it sounds like that culture has been in place for a very long time, and it's something that they kind of brought into the mix. Would you agree with that? Absolutely.
That's, we've all always done whatever needs to be done, and a lot of that comes from them and, what they laid out, that path they laid out for all of us.
Yeah. So tell us some of the women, again, we're recognizing Women's History Month and all the contributions that women have made to not just APA, but the sport of pool. I'm curious for you personally, and this isn't necessarily just APA or pool related, but who are some of the women that have had a big impact on you personally?
Well, obviously, professionally, that has been Nancy and Olindia, who I mentioned were always a huge part of my growth and success with the company. Renee, also our former president, was a huge part of my journey with APA. It's interesting that there are just some of the women pool players that we've been involved with and worked with have just, they've been wonderful people to work with. And I have to bring up Ava Lawrence in particular. She is just the most amazing and gracious woman that I know and has become a very good friend. So all of those people have helped shape who I've been with APA, as well as our league operators and some of our female league operators in particular, and several other members of our staff. But I can't can't end there without mentioning my mom, of course.
Sure.
You know, who's the reason I am who I am personally. She was always my biggest supporter. She thinks I'm amazing. So she thought I was amazing. She has since passed, but she was always there for me and just was always curious and wanted to know everything I was doing with my job. And so she really laid the foundation for my success at APA.
Yeah, and I'm sure she couldn't be more proud of the success.
Absolutely.
No, she very much was, yes.
Now, when you mention your success, sort of what organizational accomplishment are you most proud of when it comes to APA?
Well, I'm sure you guys know, and probably most of our league operators know, that's mostly probably the development enhancement of the handicap system, just working all the years through all the changes to the handicap system alongside the founders who created the system in the first place. And just all the things we've done with our handicap review committee and just all the things that we do when we're in Las Vegas at our big events. And there's just so much to the handicap system, and I'm just happy to have been a part of the growth of that system.
Yeah, a huge part of that, no doubt. And so, Pam, I don't want to keep you too long, but one last question. I mean, overall, in your opinion, whether it's the APA members, because we got about a quarter of our members, quarter percentage of our members are female. You mentioned we've got a lot of female league operators. We got a lot of female corporate staff, including some of our top executives. I'm just curious, what in your opinion, what impact have women had on the success of APA?
Wow. Okay. So I guess we could start with, in particular, the fact that there were 2 women, one of them being me, that really led the company for over 20 years. There's been a lot of things that with the female pool players, they just seem to be such a huge part of pool overall. When you watch pool on TV, and like when I talk to people about pool, and they say, "Oh, do you know Jeanette Lee? Do you know?" I mean, they've always been a huge part of what people see when they think about pool.
Yeah.
And just our players make up, female players make up a little over a quarter of our league, and I think they really help with the community part of the league as well. Not that the gentlemen don't, but the ladies really band people together and really help make those communities that we have out there.
Nice.
Absolutely.
That's a great answer. Community is certainly a big part of why APA is as successful it is. So, Pam, we really appreciate you taking the time. I know you stay very busy, and I know it's not your favorite thing to get in front of a camera, but
No.
It really should be, because you're fantastic.
You are great.
And we appreciate you taking the time to join us, and wish you nothing but success into the future. So thanks again.
Same to you all. Thank you so very
Pam.
much.
All right, thanks, Pam.
All right, bye.
Take care.
See, she's great on camera.
She was great.
Yeah, I don't know why she doesn't like doing more interviews and stuff. It's fun to talk to her too, because there's not many more qualified to talk about history of APA.
No.
I mean, she's seen and done pretty much everything there is.
37 years. That's
It's
a long time.
It definitely is. It's just a lot of fond memories. Just hearing her talk about some of the people, like, she mentioned Renee Lyle. I mean, how
Right.
can you not mention Renee?
Absolutely.
When you talk about some of the most impactful women on APA, led
Right.
the company for so many years before she retired in 2019. But it also got me thinking, she mentioned Ava Lawrence, and I was thinking, when I came into pool in the early 2000s, the pro side of the sport was really dominated by the ladies.
Yeah.
You had the WPBA Classic Tour. We've been talking WPA
I
for a
know.
while.
Earlier this week.
You had
or
the
last week.
the WPBA Classic Tour. I mean, that was on ESPN. That was, they had some great events. They had a great calendar, and you had Jeanette Lee. I mean, who was such a superstar. But you had just perhaps the game's greatest female player ever in Allison Fisher,
Right.
that was playing during that time. I mean, and she had just epic battles with Karen Core. There was just so many. That was Kelly Fisher was coming up then, and you just think about that group of professional ladies, and it's pretty remarkable. I mean, so for me, all the Renee and some of these ladies, because we were big sponsors of WPBA back then and did a lot of work with them, but they had a huge impact, I feel like, on the game during that period when the men's side of pro pool really was almost non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, when I came into the APA in 2008, that's what we were involved with, and so that's what I knew as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like all of the people that you named, that's who we were I think not working with Allison Fisher so much, but we started working with Jeanette Lee and all
Yeah.
of them, and so that's what I knew about. And my friends were like, oh my gosh, Jeanette Lee, like, you know, they thought it was so cool, like when we started working with her and everything. But those were all of the people who I became familiar with on the pro side of things as well.
Yeah.
So
A lot of ladies making big impact on the sport of pool, on APA,
sure.
and it was pretty cool that Pam agreed to sit down and join us for a
yeah, I
few
was
minutes.
excited. I went up to her afterwards and told her what a great job she does. I'm like, so next time, you know, I can call you. And she said, no,
Call.
not so much.
Oh,
but
she was great.
we'll see. She did great. But we also got lots of submissions from players on social media as well. We went on there and said, you know, who in your area would you guys nominate as we called them? We've been calling them on social media boss women, like APA boss women.
Yeah, I like that.
And we've been putting out some features on social media throughout the month. So I thought that we'd share some of those
Boss women?
boss women on here today.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you start out with the first one.
First one, Sarah Olson.
Sarah Olson.
As someone who is highly respected in our pool community, Sarah not only shows patience and integrity as a captain and coach, but vigor as an opponent who most would say is the toughest female pool player in the area to shoot against. Wow, high praise. She carries a strong love for the game that is unmatched in so many ways. I think I speak for all of the APA Memphis when I say it's an absolute pleasure to be in her presence as a teammate and as a friend. She represents this group of pool players well. Not only is she exceptional at the game, she excels most as a mother, wife, and friend. She has 2 beautiful daughters and a great husband who all support her through everything she does, in not only her pool game, but in life. I am most honored to call her my best friend, teammate, captain, co-captain, and sister for life. Man.
Wasn't that so eloquently
Yeah,
put?
who sent that in? That was really...
One of her teammates sent that in.
Wow.
She sent that as a... She actually messaged us and asked if she could email a special thing about that. She actually got nominated by several players
Sarah
in her
Olson,
area. So she was very well respected.
Sarah
in her
Olson,
area.
Memphis APA.
Yeah.
Good on you. Nice.
Yeah, very cool. But I was impressed at how eloquently worded that was. Okay, so our next one is Dorothy Swanson. So this one says, Miss Dorothy Swanson is a longtime member of APA. This woman is so dedicated to pool, she travels on bus and train just to get to league. I'm the captain of the team, and there will be some nights that I tell her to stay home, but at 7 p.m., who comes walking in? Miss Dot, a.k.a. Mom. She's a pleasure to play against and has the utmost respect for her opponents and the game she loves. We play out of Hudson Valley in Yonkers, New York.
Yonkers.
It's very cool. She comes by bus and train just to get to league. Pretty cool.
Dedication.
That's dedication, yeah.
I see this next one. You're killing me with the last names.
Oh, yeah.
Rebecca, was that Owlette?
That's what I would say.
Owlette?
Owlette, Owlette. Yeah, Owlette. We'll go with that.
Well, I'll have to apologize, Rebecca,
Yeah.
if I'm not saying it correctly. But Rebecca was injured in a car accident last year. She was not able to play pool due to her injuries, but she continued to show up every league night to captain her teams. That is dedication.
Mm-hmm.
She ran singles boards, getting several league players qualified for regionals. She even ran tournaments. This girl is just now getting back on the table, and I know she's frustrated getting back in her game, but I know she will be back in no time. Not only is she a team player, but a great person. Certainly sounds like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be injured and to keep showing up week after week for your team, I like that. It's some dedication.
The next one we have is Monica Nera.
Oh, you gave yourself a hard name, too,
I
I
did give
see.
myself a hard name. Not just you. Gave myself one, too. Monica truly embodies what it means to be dedicated to the sport. Her commitment, hard work, and relentless... Oh, I messed up my iPad here. Relentless drive set her apart. Over the years, I've had the privilege of watching her grow, both as a pool player and a leader. Monica takes her craft seriously, always pushing herself and those around her to excel. Her leadership is evident as she consistently inspires and motivates her teammates, leading by example both on and off the billiard room. She's a true testament to what can be achieved through dedication, discipline, and passion. Monica's journey is a reflection of the power of perseverance and the incredible impact that one committed individual can have on a team. You guys are impressing me with your words.
Very thoughtful responses.
Very thoughtful.
You can tell these are coming from the ladies, I bet.
This one actually was not. This
Really?
one came, Sumit, one of our teammates. I recognize the name because he posts a lot on social media.
Okay.
But one of our teammates, it was
Okay.
actually a male that submitted that one.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next one is Becky Canopy? Canipy?
Caneep?
It's another Rebecca. I see
Another-
that you have
Wait,
sorted through the Becky names.
I picked the Beckys.
Becky picking all her favorite Beckys, apparently. So Becky is a pioneer of the APA community in her area. She was the owner, along with her husband, of Randolph's Billiards for 35 years. She's been an active member of the APA for 30 years. Well, I bet she maybe knows Nancy and Olindia Bell. She's been around
Yeah,
that
she
long.
could, yeah.
She's hosted many Tri-Cups and World Qualifiers at her bar over the years and would wake up at 7 o'clock to cook for all the players attending, assuring no one went hungry and they were ready to play their best. Very nice. She is considered a founding member of Piedmont APA's successful league in our region, and they are so thankful for her. Just ask any Piedmont player about Miss Becky's banana pudding. Banana pudding. Have you ever had banana pudding?
I don't know that I have, to be honest with you. It
I
sounds
don't
like a
either.
Southern thing, maybe.
I don't know. I don't really eat pudding.
I can't say that I eat a lot of
I'm not a
pudding
banana
either.
guy either. And I'm
I like
assuming-
bananas,
Okay,
but
well,
I don't
maybe
know that
then.
I've had banana pudding.
But anyway, I just really got thrown off by the banana pudding. She has paved the way for many women in the pool in their region, and they are so thankful for her. So,
Very cool.
What region is that? I didn't even see Piedmont. Where's Piedmont? Is that North Carolina or something?
I want to say
Georgia?
I want to say that's maybe in one of the
Okay.
Carolinas.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a Southern
Yeah.
thing. The last one we have here is Mary LeBlanc. Mrs. Mary LeBlanc is out of the Pecan League. She's 92 years old, and they're every Tuesday night. She's the kindest lady you'd ever meet. She loves the game and knows the game. She's everyone's mom, grandma. She has played as long as I've been there, and I've been playing for 10 years. She still comes in with her hair done, makeup on, and all dressed up. She's a 4, but she can beat the best of them. She's not arrogant, rude, or know-it-all. She's willing to help anyone any way possible. If you haven't met her, you need to. Everybody needs a Mrs. Mary.
Mrs. Mary,
Oh,
92
so
years
sweet.
old.
92. She looks great.
Yeah, fantastic. I like that jersey she's sporting.
I know.
And she's a 4. Is that what you said?
That's what they said. She's
That's
a
pretty
4.
good. That's
Yeah,
pretty
and
good.
she's there every single week.
Yeah, I mean, we
Love
hear the
that.
stories of some of these folks that are a little bit up there in age and still playing in league. I think
know.
that's awesome.
I
It's
love that.
one of the best things about APA is so inclusive and people, and really anybody can do it. But Miss Mary's not only doing it, but she's well liked. And well, did we figure out where that is? Picayune.
Picayune? I don't know where that's at.
Okay, sounds like a
Um,
Louisiana kind of thing.
It does,
Yeah.
but I'm not positive.
Okay,
Very cool.
well, Miss Mary, shout out to you, looking good.
You look great. So that was just a few of them. Like I said,
Got more of those?
I do. There's more of them. We've been posting a couple every week for throughout the month, but there was tons more than that. We could have posted one every day, but
Yeah,
we just kind of selected.
all the Beckys and put them
all
up.
the all the Beckys that were selected.
Becky's Unite.
To be honest, I did not even
I
notice
bet
we
you
had
didn't.
2 Beckys. in there.
Subconsciously, Becky and Becky.
Yeah, I just realized that there was 2 Beckys that were in there. One of them was technically my name is Rebecca, I guess. So
It's all part of your master plan for Becky's to rule the world.
But we did receive a lot of those submissions, so we appreciate you guys submitting all.
You can
of
find a lot of
those.
those
There were
on
so many
X,
of
on our
them.
X,
Yeah,
Twitter,
on
X.
Jason's pushing everybody
want-
to the X.
I'm dying to get us to 10,000 people on
We've
there.
been seeing.
We're like
we've been seeing
300
some growth.
short.
Some growth. Did I just say growth? We've been seeing
Yeah.
some growth on there, but
I
we want to keep pushing it.
10,000 on there.
I want to keep pushing it.
So
Yeah.
go there and see the other boss ladies of APA. Yeah. Perfect.
APA boss women. think that's what we've been called.
Got another boss woman to talk about? Woman?
We do. So we talked about the exec staff. We talked about
some pros.
We
about
talked
the members.
about members.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about league operators.
Another big, a lot of great
We have
female
a
league
lot
operators.
of female league operators. So I had a chance to catch up with one female. Obviously, we have tons of female league operators, but we caught up with one female league operator, Michelle Harper. She's the league operator for the Seminole County APA in Florida. So we spent a few minutes with her catching up, and let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, I am joined today by Michelle Harper of the Seminole County APA. Michelle, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Doing good. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so why don't you start out by telling us sort of when did you become a league operator?
It was April of 2019, so we're coming up on our 6-year anniversary of being league operators. Feels like yesterday, though.
Yeah? Go by quick, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell us about your journey to becoming league operators.
It actually started out as players. So I joined the league in 2011, begrudgingly in the beginning. So I was a softball player my entire life. So that was my sport of choice. I wasn't married to my husband at the time, but he was actually the one that talked me into it. He wanted me to play. I wanted to play softball. So I told him I would play pool with him if he played softball with me. So obviously we know which one ended up winning out and ended up sticking. But I was hesitant because I was so competitive that I didn't want to be bad at it or let the team down. So I sat with the team for months and ended up just watching them, learning the rules, the strategy of the game, all that stuff. And then finally I was like, all right, put me on the team, I'll do it. And then it took me not much time at all to catch the bug and ended up joining all the teams and all the leagues and all the formats. And we've been playing for 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to make the decision to become league operators then?
I specifically have always wanted to own my own business. So when the opportunity came for us to combine our love for the game and my wanting to own my own business, that was it. We couldn't pass up the opportunity. So I had quit my full-time job at the time. I had moved to Florida by then, quit my full-time job. And then 3 years later, James was able to join me full-time as well.
Okay, so you actually started out first and then he kind of joined you full-time. Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I have a sales and marketing background, so it kind of just made sense for me to take the leap first and make sure it was going to stick, and then he came shortly behind.
Nice. So what's the hardest part of being a league operator?
I would say the long hours. It's daytime spent in the office, night times at league, weekends upon weekends of tournaments, and but I wouldn't give it up for the world because we find ourselves inevitably back in the pool halls with all of our players at weddings and events and all that stuff on our open weekends anyways. So we're exactly where we want to be.
So would you say that's your favorite part of being a league operator?
It is. It's definitely the players. So it's become more of a family to us than anything else. Like they're all our friends, they're our family. We end up spending all of our free time with them outside of it. So it doesn't even feel like a job at all.
What motivates you to keep going as a league operator?
So I would definitely say my nieces, my nephews, my friends, my family, like they have been our rocks in all of this. They've supported us, and we can't thank them enough for all the support that they've given us day in and day out. Listening to our gripes and walking us through everything and supporting us, and also our players. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are. They support us as well. So we definitely can't thank any of them, our family, our friends, and our players enough for supporting us through all of it.
Awesome. Now, as you know, it's Women's History Month. So what advice would you give to women who might be aspiring to become business owners?
I would say definitely don't be afraid to dream big and to chase those dreams. It's like I said earlier, it's definitely not easy. But it's always going to be worth it. So as long as you believe in yourself and surround yourself with a strong support system and stay true to yourself and your purpose and belief, anything's possible.
Awesome. About a quarter of our membership is women. What would you say to women who are looking to get involved in pool? I know that you said that, your husband kind of had to convince you to get involved. What would you say to other women who are looking to get involved?
Take the leap. It's definitely worth it. So there is such a support system within the league amongst the ladies themselves. I actually just had our ladies division start their new session yesterday. And the room full of ladies and the support that they have for one another and the fun that they have. I wish that it wouldn't have taken me as long to join as it did, but I'm so glad that I did. So definitely give it a shot. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, I know that one of the words that has been used a lot within the ladies is community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you
it's
say
a big
that?
community, a big family. Like we just, it's all day yesterday. It was all hugs and high fives and laughs and all of that. And it's actually my favorite division. I love my ladies.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's a good interview.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
She was really great to talk to.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because you heard her. I know you guys talked about it. Pam talked about it, too, but community.
Yes.
Everybody seems to kind of identify that as the main contributor or one of the main contributions of women. And I could see that, a lot of times,
The women.
The charity events or let's rally together, a lot of times that starts with the ladies,
Right.
They just have a little bit of a more, I don't know, networking community kind of way about them, I
Right.
guess. And so, but that is a huge part of why APA is what it is because and we talk about it all the time. It's, it's beyond pool or more than just pool,
More
I
than
think is
just
what we
pool.
call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times it is that community is like the glue that really holds it firmly together. The competition's really only part of it. And so it was just interesting to hear her kind of say that. Pam said that. And, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it was definitely a consistent throughout our talk about women's history.
Good job, ladies.
Give us a pat on the back
Yeah.
here, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's our content for Women's History Month that we had.
Okay.
So I thought that we'd wrap things up with another segment on our home pool rooms.
Got some home pool rooms?
Yeah, we've got some home pool rooms. I thought we'd wrap things up with it today as it's kind of become a monthly thing for us. So
You're not getting us in
there's our-
trouble this month, is it?
no, I won't
Okay.
get us in trouble
Last month
again.
we featured a great pool room with a team name that is on the banned list.
It is. And we even talked about how we thought that it might be.
Dang it.
But we might have gotten a little...
And of course we had to bring it out and mention it here. So.
No, we did, and we're talking about it again, but maybe they won't see it.
Clean up those
So-
team names, people, please.
Come on, do us a favor. Make them clean. But no, we don't have anything like
Good.
that this time.
Let's see
I
'em.
kept them clean.
Cool.
So the first one we have is from William Howarth. This is his. Looks like his little man cave, maybe.
Man cave action, yeah.
He's got going on here. Nice little space.
Everybody's got the
It's like
LED lights kicking, I feel like, in a lot of these.
They do.
He's
That
got
seems
them
to
under the
be-
stairs. He's got
Mhm.
them behind the screen. And so everybody's got the LEDs.
Can't tell if this is his garage or basement, maybe.
I think it is a garage
Is it
because
a
you got
garage?
look at
You
the
got
structure
garage-
on the
Yeah, the garage structure. It
Yeah.
looks like there's got a disco ball. Looks like hanging from the garage structure.
garage party. Whose
Yeah.
house is this?
William Howarth.
All right, everybody head over to Williams.
Yeah, everybody's having a party
After
there.
party at Williams.
All right, our next one's from Kim Pearson.
Ooh, nice clean.
Yeah, nice clean space here. We've got. Looks like it's in some kind of bedroom, maybe.
Good looking
But
diamond
it's a nice
table.
diamond table with a. I don't remember what they. Like you said, the LED light she's got going on
Nice
there. But I like
light.
the clean space. Some
Mhm.
awards she's got on the back wall there.
Oh, good eye.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, nice space there, Kim. Then we got Kathy Anderson Diedrich. I like this one. So she pointed out that that's a hand-drawn mural on the table.
Really?
Yeah, so she sent that in saying that they actually painted that on the mural on
Really?
on the valley table.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, which I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, talk about skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a painted mural. Kathy Diedrich. Thanks for sending that in. Then we've got Scott
Ooh, I like that one.
Alford. Nice. It's different. Purple You don't see that purple cloth too often, but a nice little space there. Looks like probably a basement.
I like that
I like
stone.
the brick, yeah, the stone
Yeah.
wall there. The lights, got the lights
They
going.
got the lights too.
Yep.
It's all about the lighting. A lighting makes a room, you know?
Yeah, it's huge.
Somebody's got some trophies.
And then Jesse Fogg was our last one here. He's got some APA trophies there. I like that table. I don't know what kind of table it
Very
is.
classic
but it looks
look.
nice, yeah. Classic look. Some kind of maybe basement, I'm guessing here, based on the floor. Nice space.
Some nice pool rooms out there.
Yeah, you guys, I really like that. Keep submitting those on social media. We'll keep sharing them. I know, don't get frustrated if you don't see yours up there. We've got all year, right? We
Do
share.
people get frustrated about that?
They do. We have
Really?
some that, not like, they don't say stuff, but they'll keep submitting it like
Okay.
over and over, which is fine.
Yeah.
You can feel free to do that. But
I submitted this one before.
Yeah,
Well, be patient.
which is okay. Be patient. We do like one a week-ish, on social
All
media.
right.
That
Nobody's
we try
calling
to,
you at home about this, are they?
No.
Okay.
Not this
Just want to
week.
make sure.
Not this
I don't
week.
want to get people up in arms about the
No.
photos.
No, nothing like that. But keep sharing them, and we'll keep
Yeah.
putting them out there.
Social media is a great place
it
to share
is.
your story. I mean, when you got 250,000 members,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many great stories, whether it's the room you play in or something happened in your league. And, you should always share that stuff with us. Doesn't mean we're necessarily going to do something with it right away or maybe even ever.
Yeah.
I mean, we do, but if you got a good story, we love to hear them and love to talk about them. And so share them, right? Nothing wrong with sharing them.
Yeah, maybe we'll share it on here. Maybe
Maybe
not.
on our Twitter page.
Maybe on X.
Yep. Find us on Twitter.
Go
X.
at Poolplayers.
So is it not Twitter anymore at all?
No, I don't think it's really called
Really?
Twitter at all.
So like if you go there, it doesn't even say Twitter anymore.
No.
It just says X.
In the corner. It
I know
says
I can
X.
type in Twitter and it takes me to
Yeah.
X.
I've just got
forwards
it saved as a bookmark, so I don't type anything in. But yeah, I think when you go there in the corner, it just says X.
Strange name.
It's a very
Strange
yes,
name.
it is a very strange name.
Okay.
It's just a letter.
So find us on X. It's appropriate and clean.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes,
So
it
you
is
can look at,
fine.
what are we on there? APA Pool League?
Yeah, it's Poolplayers, I think.
Oh,
is
Poolplayers.
what the
Okay.
actual,
Well, you could search
yeah.
us. You'll find it.
You'll
Actually,
find
you
us no matter
can link
what,
to it
but-
right from the bottom of poolplayers.com, right? All
Yeah.
of our socials.
All our socials are linked to on Poolplayers.com.
So there's no excuses anymore. You have
As well,
to,
anytime you're on pretty much any of our, e-newsletters, things
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
links everywhere.
There's links everywhere.
Okay. Be on
So
the
go
lookout.
follow us on all of our socials and e-newsletter. Sign up for our e-newsletters and things like that. And
Yeah.
you'll always
It's like hanging out with Becky and I 24 hours a day. And I
you'll
don't
always be in the
know why
know.
you wouldn't want to do that.
We're cool people. Anyways, that's all we've got for you this month, folks.
That's
So,
it for March. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Next month will
Are we
be.
coming back next month? Are we doing this
I-
next month before the event?
I mean, I think so.
Okay. Cool. We'll come
Next
back and
month
talk
will
about
be
Vegas.
yeah. Next month will be all Vegas talk. So that should be a pretty fun one.
Yeah. Maybe we could
For
talk
us, at
about
least.
the just 10-year anniversary of the Riv closing. We'll talk. Maybe we'll
We
talk about that. I
did.
know we've talked about it before, but we'll talk
Yeah,
about it
but
again.
That's a good one to
Yeah,
talk
it's
about.
10 years. Crazy.
That seems crazy.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
that's
So we'll
hard to
see you
believe.
guys next month.
We'll see you guys next month. We'll see you in a few weeks. Until then, bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.